All right. Hello, you eight. It's a bit weird coming to you like this, but hopefully, as I get better at these videos, you'll also be able to enjoy them, and it won't be too bad with you being where you are and me being where I am. We're going to start off today by talking about exercise 5.02. And here are just some of the different concepts that you're going to come across while in this exercise. One of the things that is that you probably have come across before, but we're going to look at a bit closely, is this 2y. Now, this really means, if I can write it properly, 2 times y. Okay, do you see that? So there's always this invisible y that is, this invisible times that is between two numbers when we write them close together like that. Okay, that's important for later on, but just remember that now, okay? Now this times means that we could write this 2y in any order, right? Because remember that 5 times 3, well, that equals 15. Well, that's the same as saying 3 times 5. That also equals 15. So we are allowed to write them in any order, okay, because of that times sign, okay? So we could write that as y2, but, you know, the normal way that people write it is with the number in front and then the letter. So we'll leave it like that. So we have our 2y and we're adding to it 7y. Now you could even think about this as a form of y as a form of like an object, like apples or bananas. Okay, so if you had 2 apples and you added to that 7 apples, how many apples would you have? Well, the thing is, well, that's easy, isn't it? You would just say, well, it's 9 apples. Okay, so when the letter or the pronumeral that we use is the same on both, we can add the numbers just like they are. Okay, that leads us to our second example over here. Now we have 6ab minus 2ab. Well, this just means 6. So we've got 6ab minus 2ab. Now remember that as long as the letters are the same, we can simply add or subtract it just like normal. So we go 6 minus 2, well, that's simply 4ab. Right. Got to remember my equal signs, don't I? So there we go, 4ab. Okay, over here, we get to a more interesting one, where we are actually going to be substituting for a. So we'll just keep this in mind for later. Okay, a equals 5. Okay, but for now, we're going to do the maths. Now, are the letters the same in both cases? Well, actually, it is. Okay, we have a squared and a squared. But something you might be wondering is, where's the number? Does it mean 0? Does it mean it's just a placeholder? No. What it actually means is there's this little invisible 1 that sits there. But if we have 1 apple, we don't go up to someone and say, I've got 1 apple. You just say, I have an apple. Okay, so we take away the 1 because we assume that there's 1 because it's only showing 1. Okay, so that's just a little trick we do there. Okay, so a squared means 1a squared, so we can write that 1a squared plus 3a squared. Now, because the letters are the same, they're both a squared, we are allowed to just add the numbers. Okay, so we end up with 4a squared and my equal sign, which I should remember. Okay, that's great, isn't it? We've added it all together, okay? But something we're told is that a actually equals 5. Now that means that we can take this, we can take it down and we can replace it, right? That allows us to work out exactly what the answer should be. Okay, now remember over here where I said 2y actually means 2 times y? Well, that's the case right here. We have 4 times a squared. Now, if you remember, a squared really means a times a, doesn't it? So we could even rewrite this as 4 times a times a. That looks a bit like a 9. I'm going to rewrite it. There we go. Alright, now what were we told? We were told that a equals 5. So everywhere we see an a, we can replace it with a 5. Okay, so we actually have 4 times 5 times 5. Alright, 4 times 5 is 20, times 5 again equals 100. Now that's a bit of a more complicated one, but I think you guys should be able to handle it. What we're going to do now is we're just going to scroll down a bit. Alright, now, here's an interesting one. It's interesting because we notice something about all the letters. Are they all the same? No, they're not. We have an X, we have a Y, and we have an X. Now, to be able to add them together, we need to remember that all of them need to have the same letter. Okay, so here we got an X here, a Y, and an X. Now, which two are the same? Well, the X's, right? So we look at the X's and we say, all right, well, we want to do something with those two. But what can we do? Well, whenever we have plus and minuses, we're allowed to rearrange them. Okay, but the trick is you always have to keep the sign in front of the term. Okay, so this has to move together and this has to move together. Okay, if you move them separately, you will get it wrong. Okay, so what we can do is we'll say, well, 5x. Now we don't want this one first, so we'll move that one to the back. Okay, we want this one next. So we just say, okay, we're going to move it all, including the sign that's in front. We say minus 2x. And then we put our last term, which is plus 2y. Okay, so now that we've rearranged it, we've got the 2 with the x's that are next to each other. And yes, I do want you to do this working out for this exercise, okay? No skimping on the working out. I will be checking. Alright, so we've got 5x minus 2x. They have the same letter, so we can just do the simple subtraction. 5x minus 2x is 3x. And what have we got left? Well, we've got the plus 2y, so that just goes on the end. Can we go any further? No, because we can't add x's to y's. So there we go, that's the answer right there. This one's a bit interesting because we start with a positive and then we take away a very big negative number. Okay? Now, something that often happens with this is people go, okay, I'll just do 10a minus 3a, which gives me 7a. Okay? Wrong. That's all wrong. Okay? You have to be very careful when you do that because if we look at this, well, 3a is actually sitting, ooh, that's a bad number line. 3a is actually sitting on this number line, and let's say 0 is right there. Well, 3a is about there, okay? Or this is 0a, okay? 3a is about here. Now, if we take away 10a, what we're actually doing is we are moving backwards 10 a's, okay? So if I just put this in, okay, so I start at 3a and I go, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? And where does this leave me? Well, it actually leaves me in the negative side because this is the negative side and that's the positive side, okay? So just be very careful about that. We're actually taking away 10 from 3, and that takes us back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer is negative 7a. Now, if you type that into a calculator very carefully, you should get the exact same answer. Okay? Now, one thing, remember that I said that we could rearrange them? So we could also write this in a very different way. We could actually say, well, this is actually 10a, negative 10a, because remember the sign comes with the thing that it is in front of. And then we're going to say, well, this is actually positive 3a. So we'll say plus 3a. So this is the same as that, okay, because we've just rearranged it. We haven't changed it, we've just changed where the letters and the numbers are, okay? It's still the same equation. We can actually see that if we start at negative 10a, which if we draw a second number line, we'll say this is negative 10a. We've got 0 up here somewhere. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. We start negative 10a and we move forward 3. We move towards the positive direction 3. We go 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. This is negative 7a again. All right, so you can see that it doesn't matter which way we arrange it. We still end up with negative 7a as our answer. All right, here's our last one. And it's important to remember here that remember that 5xy actually means 5 times x times y. And remember what we said above? If they're all multiplied together, you can change their order. So what we find is we have minus 2 times y times x. They look different, but are they the same letters? Yeah, they are. They're just in a different order. So because they're in a different order, that means that we can just rearrange them because of the multiplication signs, so they're in the same order. So what we'll say is we'll say 5xy minus 2xy. All we've done is we've swapped those two letters around, which we're allowed to do because of the multiply sign between them. Okay, now they're looking much the same, aren't they? So we've got 5xy minus 2xy, and that is simply, oh, I've forgotten a lot of equal signs, is equal to 3xy. All right, if you have any questions about any of these questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. What I will be doing is, for several of the days that we are meeting, 3 of the days, we will have a synchronous time. So that means we will talk together face to face over the cameras, that will be interesting. And the other 2 days I'll put up a video just like this that you can listen to and then complete your work. Again, if you have any questions, let me know and we'll take care of them either in a separate video or on a synchronous day. Also, please let me know how you found this video. This is my first time doing this, so it's going to be interesting for both of us, but hopefully you're able to work with me here. One last thing I will say is that the homework for this is we're going to do 502. It's 502A actually, and we will do questions 1, A, C, E, continued. Actually, some of my other students taught me a trick. We can say every other one. That means every second question. So A, C, E, G, I, K, and so on. I want you to do all of question 2 because it's quite handy to do. And then we're also going to do questions 3 to 6, and that's every other one. Okay, what I also want you to do is get started on 502B. Now, we will review how much work this is once I see how all you are going. But, you know, it's good to get a start on these ones. Question 1, every other one. Again, we will do all of question 2. And then we will do questions 3 to 5, and I only want you to do the first column. Okay, that is one of the worst C's I've ever done, but hopefully it's not too bad. All right, that's all for today. Hope you have good success with that, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.